JP is really setting the bar high for us all. He takes every opportunity to speak. He's challenging himself. He's finding opportunities to speak outside the club. He's entering competitions. He completed the entire Toastmasters curriculum or Pathways program in around a year, which is quite impressive. Even though he's finished his first path, he started on the mentorship path, and he's also speaking outside of the Toastmasters curriculum, which is what we encourage us all to do. The projects are generally flexible and allow for a lot of subjectivity in how you can apply speeches to the project parameters, but sometimes they don't fit in with any project, and we just deliver speeches because we love to deliver speeches and want to continue to improve and grow our skill set as public speakers. JP's speech today has me a bit intrigued. When he sent me the email what it was, I can't wait to hear it. The title is Intuition is Energy. JP Horgan, Intuition is Energy. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Albert Einstein said that the intuitive mind is a sacred gift and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We've created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. The existential question is, why are we here? And it's existential because we're trapped in our mind. We're trapped inside our heads, like the logical, linear, left-thinking brain. Even the right brain, which is awarded attributes of art, imagination, and creativity. It's still using logic and reasoning based on everything that we've ever experienced in the past. Perhaps you don't have, or maybe you don't know you have, an existential crisis. For some, the response is more subtle, thinking things like, is this it? There has to be more to life. I feel it inside. I know that I was made for more. Can you believe in something that you can't see? We do it with radio. From Moose Jaw to Moosonee, from Gander to Corner Brook to Sherbrooke, from Laval to Dorval, Claremont to Canmore, from Vancouver to Edmonton, to Calgary, to Winnipeg, Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto. Hello, Canada and hockey fans in the United States and Newfoundland. Radio works similar to intuition. There's a message out there. It's in the ether. The radio grabs the message. It translates it into something that the listeners know is real. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been driving down the street and usually you turn right, but something called you to turn left? That's your intuition. There are forms of energy that we cannot see. And those forms of energy are guiding all the movement that we do see. There's subconscious levels of awareness. Goosebumps, or the way the hair on the back of your neck stands up when you hear something that cuts through your soul at a visceral level. Soul. There's another thing you can't see, but maybe you know it exists. Let me tell you what happened this past weekend. It was just after 7:25 a.m. and I was standing in the sand on the shores of Lake Simcoe, gazing at the sun that was rising in the east. There was like a laser beam of light shining across the water directly from the sun, right into my heart. It was a perfect morning, full of optimism and hope, with the smell of spring lingering in the air. Thousands of people were on the road adjacent to the beach. As I continued my waking meditation, I looked around and realized I was the only one on the beach. In the background, you could hear music and voices. You could see little kids laughing and playing. Then, the announcer signaled 1 minute. 60 seconds later, the starting gun went off, and the Georgina Spring Fling was underway. The months of training alone in cold, snowy, early mornings all culminated in a community of runners with the same mission: to run a marathon. It didn't matter if your time was going to be 2.5 hours, 4.5 hours, or 6.5 hours. Everybody had the same goal: to expand and become a better person. For some reason, the adrenaline caught me again, and I fell into a group that was trying to complete their marathon, a half marathon, in 1 hour and 40 minutes, which is equivalent to a 3 hour, 20-minute marathon. My best time in the past is 3 hours 57, so I have no idea what I was thinking. I decided I'm not even going to look at my watch. I got caught up in the moment. I felt great. Later, when I look back, I was running an average of 4 minutes and 44 seconds for the first 12 kilometers. All my training for the past 4 months was set at a 5-minute, 20-second kilometer. Not even close. So you can probably guess what happened next. At 12 kilometers, I came back to reality. I felt the lingering hamstring injury pulling on me. I realized I didn't stick to my plan. I wasn't using any logic or reasoning, and that it was going to be difficult to continue for 2.5 more hours. That's when I made the decision. I was going to stop at the halfway point. In a world of masculinity, of never give up, don't quit, be your own hero, a majority of people would have pushed through and grinded it out. I definitely could have done that. Even if it was a year ago, I probably would have done that. I felt great. My nutrition was right on point. Just this damn hamstring injury. Then, paradoxically, my intuition came in and it said, you're not a marathoner, you're a runner. If you keep pushing it today, then you might not run for the rest of the year. The paradox is that the intuition is a slow, quiet whisper, yet it's a loud thump in the back of your head telling you exactly what to do. The logic and reasoning doesn't exist. If it did, you would sit down, you would think about it, you would work on the plan, the details, and try to figure it out. Intuition comes fast and hard. As recent as a year ago, I definitely would have kept pushing. So anyway, I completed my marathon at 1 hour, 49 minutes. I packed it in. I lived to fight another day. The thing about this decision that lets me know for sure it was intuition is the peacefulness and the equanimity that came over me right after I made that decision. I knew it was intuition, my higher self guiding me. Sometimes that guidance is hard to listen to, especially with something like running, because how do you know if it's your mind or your intuition? Well, I'm glad I didn't do the masculine thing and just keep running, no pain, no gain, and all that. This is simply a divine source of intuition that was looking out for me and guiding me to do the right thing. Steve Jobs said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown you out your inner voice. And most important, Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.